Live from the Business RadioX studio inside Renaissance Bank, the bank that specializes in understanding you. It's time for North Fulton Business Radio.
And hello again, everyone. Welcome to another edition of North Fulton Business Radio. I'm John Ray, and folks, we are broadcasting from inside Renaissance Bank in beautiful Alpharetta. And if you've got a need for a better banking experience than what you're currently enjoying with your big mega bank, give Renaissance Bank a try. I mean, they've been voted best bank in Georgia by Times Magazine's Money.com, and actually a bunch of other states in their footprint, Southeast footprint. And I think they have been because they do business in a personal way while being a bank that's big enough to offer pretty much any need you can, or fulfill any need you can throw at them. I found this myself. So give them a call, check them out, go to renaissancebank.com, find their local office, and get in touch. And I think you'll be glad you did. Renaissance Bank, understanding you, member FDIC. And now I want to welcome Heather Rogers, an old friend. She is with Simply Organized. Heather,
Hi.
Welcome.
Hi, John.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. It's great to have you here.
It's good to be here.
The last time we did a show, it was in the teeth of the pandemic, and we were looking at each other over Zoom, but we get to be across the table from each other. It's great to have you in the studio.
I'm so glad. I love doing it in person.
Absolutely. So for the 2 or 3 or 4 people that don't know about you and Simply Organized, give them an overview of you and what you do at your firm.
So we are a group of professional organizers who help people in the metro Atlanta area get organized, declutter, and we have a focus on packing and unpacking for people who are moving.
Awesome. There's a lot of need for that. So I guess there's 2 pieces to that, right? Moving and organizing. Maybe we can talk about moving.
Sure.
Right now. So what are the big missing pieces of moving for folks that think, oh, I can do that myself? What are they missing out on?
Right. So it is now, statistically, moving is the second most stressful thing you can do in a lifetime. It's only second to losing a loved one. So
even more than divorce.
More than divorce. It's moved up.
Really?
It used to be number 3. Now divorce is number 3 in the most stressful things that you can do in a lifetime. So it is a very overwhelming thing with lots of moving parts, no pun intended, and lots of steps and tasks and things that people need to do. And most people just don't have the time or the bandwidth and the know-how to do it well.
Why is it moved up?
I don't know. That's really interesting because I've never been divorced, but I would assume that's extremely stressful well.
Yeah.
I think it's gotten more expensive over the years to move. And I think that people have more valuable things. They care more about their things being well taken care of. And we have more stuff than ever. So I think it used to be, in your 20s or your 30s, you get a couple friends and, some beer and pizza, and you just ask them to help you, and you don't care about the stuff. But as we get older and we have families and we're growing and we're moving, or, even the last move of most people's life is extremely stressful because if you're a senior, you're probably downsizing. So that's a whole nother set of stressful issues and tasks that have to be taken care of, and not likely to have the friends willing to come over and help for pizza and beer anymore.
Yeah, for sure. So talk about the way some people look at moving maybe across town, right? Because there's a lot of that going on, and particularly in the pandemic, I think there were folks, and you and I have talked about this, folks moving into a home where they could do more in the home that they formerly did outside of the home, whether that's in-home school or whatever that was. Right. So talk about folks that think, well, we're just moving to a new neighborhood or whatever, so it can't be that bad, right?
So many people say, I'm moving a mile away or I'm moving next door, so it's no big deal. I can just hand carry everything over. And what they don't realize is that is actually, it's not going to save any time or money to not have it packed and moved properly. And most of my clients who try to do it that way wind up exhausting themselves, hurting their backs, and not really having the time to dedicate to that. So it's still the same amount of stuff, and it still takes the same process, no matter if you're moving a mile away or 2,000 miles away. So it still needs to be packed properly and moved by professionals if you don't want it to break, and if you don't want to break your own body trying to do it yourself.
What's the most stressful part of it? Is it packing or is it unpacking?
Most people don't want to pack themselves, but we enjoy the unpack the most because that's where our organizational skills really shine. So we have no problem doing either or both for people. But I would think, getting everything settled and put into place and the day after you move, it's a really nice gift to give to yourself. But I think most people would say the packing's more stressful.
Yeah.
Most clients don't want to do that part.
Now, see, I never really thought about the fact that when you unpack, you get folks organized, much more organized than they were in their older home.
Yes. So that's the benefit of hiring a professional organizer for that. Most moving companies provide packing services, or they'll actually refer their clients to us for packing if they don't have enough labor. But none of them unpack and put things away. A lot of moving companies will unbox your items. Please don't ever do that. If you're listening, don't ever have your items unboxed. It is an absolute nightmare. They just put it on the floor and the countertops, and then you're left with stuff everywhere. So yes, hire someone to do a full unpack and put away if you're going to have them do anything, or just leave the items in the box until you're ready. But yes, we get them organized from day one, and everything has a place. And so that's really important if you want to stay organized, to have it done when you're unpacking. It's also when you're moving, it's the best time to purge, right? It's the best time to get rid of anything that you haven't used or needed. You don't want to pay somebody to move a bunch of stuff that you're not going to use or need. So it's a really good time. I always tell people who aren't moving to pretend like they're moving at least every 5 years. And that really helps with the purging process and going through all the stuff that we collect.
Wow. And when you do that regularly, it makes it less difficult, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes. In most cases, maintenance is a difficult part for most people to do anytime you've got a goal, right? So if you're exercising, you want to lose weight. Once you've lost the weight, then you have to maintain it. That's always the hard part. It's the same thing with organizing and decluttering. So the more often you do it, the easier it is, the less overwhelming it is. We have quite a few maintenance clients who hire us every month or every quarter just to keep it up so that they don't feel that overwhelming, stressful feeling.
Let's talk about hiring a moving company. You I'm sure have a very special perspective on that. I guess two aspects to it. One is, why hire you versus the moving company to pack up and unpack, right?
Right.
And then what should folks look for in a good mover, and how to judge a good mover?
Because that's a great question. So we work with a lot of moving companies and have for the last 12 years. So we do have a unique perspective from this. I would say look for the ones who have been around for a while. They have the ratings are kind of difficult because I find that they're all going to have really good and some really bad ratings. But what I love about the movers that we use the most are that they say, look, we're human. Mistakes might happen. Things might get broken, but it's what we're going to do about those mistakes. It's how we're going to handle them. So get the insurance. Are you listening? Pay a couple extra $100 and get the extra insurance. It is so worth it. The insurance that's included with the moving companies only comes out to be about $300. And that's not going to cover your furniture or anything else that might break. They say it's like 60 cents a pound or something. So when you do that math, it's not enough. So get the extra insurance. It's only a couple $100 extra, and it's going to cover tens of thousands of dollars. So that's really, really important. But yeah, hire a company that's got, somebody's recommended them. They have, more good reviews than bad reviews. They've been around a long time, and they're going to be able to talk to you very confidently about insurance and the whole process, soup to nuts. And, some are local, some are national. So, there's lots of different movers that have different niches as well.
Sure. And let's talk about the part of why hiring you separately to do the packing and unpacking versus the moving company.
Right. So a lot of moving companies are already referring us for the packing anyway, even if they provide packing services, because they do not have enough hired, trained labor. Just like everybody right now is hiring. It's really, really hard. So what they do best is moving, right? And stacking and what we call Tetris. If you've ever played that video game Tetris, so spatial planning and, and loading and stacking, that is their sweet spot. So a lot of them will refer us. We charge the exact same amount as moving companies do, but you're going to get a team of professional organizers. So we're going to handle your stuff a little bit more delicately. We're going to make sure it's wrapped really well. And we can provide all the same services that they do. So we work in conjunction with a lot of moving companies very well. So they don't feel like we're taking that business away from them. And then, like I said before, I don't know any moving companies that do an unpack. So you definitely want to hire a professional organizer if you want your items unpacked.
Got it. Heather Rogers is with us, folks, and she is the owner of Simply Organized. So, Heather, you mentioned the term professional organizer. I think there are a lot of folks that do not realize there is actually a industry group, the National Association of Professional Organizers. You were at one point a year or two ago, I think maybe it was the president of the Georgia chapter, right?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, talk about NAPO and just the role of NAPO in the world of organization and moving.
Sure. So it's actually a national and international organization that we have of professional organizers. I know a lot of people don't know what a professional organizer is, and I understand and respect that. I always like to say we're basically problem solvers. At Simply Organized, we offer tons and tons of services, but NAPO is first and foremost for educating us and continuing the professional organizers' education, so that we're constantly learning how to help different types of clients. Some of our clients have attention deficit, and some of them are hoarders, and some of them have, just all these different varying things. So it's very important that we continue to learn how to help different types of people so that we can be at our best and our highest quality. They also actually have a certification program, so you can become a certified professional organizer. And then we do have monthly meetings, and we have conferences, and we have speakers, and we also have business vendors who are members so that we can refer junk removal services and photo and document scanning services and things like that. So we partner with a lot of businesses that help out our clients as well.
Gotcha. And I think the answer to this question is going to be yes, but I would suspect you think it's important for any professional organizer to be part of NAPO, and for folks to look for that if they're looking for a organizer, because what that reflects is their commitment to ongoing professional or continuing education.
Yes, I think it's important. It's been really valuable in my business. Most of us are solo entrepreneurs and solo business owners. So to have another 80 people in Georgia that are a resource for me that I can bounce things off, like who makes t-shirt quilts and, all these other things, who can do a appraisal for dolls or stamp collection, or, there's so many different reasons why we need each other. Yeah. And then we also work for one another as well. I have a team of 16 organizers, and over half of them are my NAPO colleagues. So they own their own businesses, but they also subcontract and assist other organizers. So it's been a wonderful way to expand my business, but also to keep learning. And yeah, I think if you're looking for a professional organizer, it is really important to see that they've got that NAPO, NAPO logo, right, on their website. And you can also go and look for a professional organizer on NAPO, locally, napo.net, or napogeorgia.com.
Got it. So let's talk about organizing, because there's a lot of folks out there that, I'm sure chills are running up their spine right now with that word, because they know they need to get organized whether they're moving or not. Right. And they've got something there, a lot of things maybe that are weighing them down. You've got a story about kind of what's happened to you in here since you were on our show last, and that's giving you an interesting perspective, let's say, right?
Yes. So I generally work with busy families, mm-hmm. and mostly women who are trying to do it all and do it all perfectly. And I've always tried to preach or educate to everybody that there is no such thing as perfection, and give yourself a break, and self-care is important, and you have to put your own oxygen mask on first. If you're going to help anyone else, you have to put your own self at the top of your priority list. I was really good at telling everyone else that, but I wasn't taking that advice for myself. So last year, I spent quite a bit of time in the ICU. I had pancreatitis from gallstones, which came out of nowhere. I thought I was a very healthy 45-year-old woman. And next thing I know, I was in the hospital. So I am very lucky to be alive. I've been told by numerous medical professionals that most people do not survive pancreatitis. And so I believe that I'm still here for a reason. And the message I really, really, really want people to hear is you are worthy of prioritizing yourself, and self-care should be at the top of your list. And I never would do that for myself. I always thought, oh, you must be extremely wealthy to go get a massage, or you must be lazy to take a vacation, which even just saying it out loud is so crazy. But yeah, I feel like I was raised to have this pretty insane work ethic. And now it's all about what can I do to not go back to the hospital. So I am setting boundaries for myself. I am saying no a lot more than I used to all sorts of, volunteer things and all of the other commitments that previously I would have said yes to. But now I am carving out the time and making sure that I'm exercising and eating right and getting regular massages and chiropractic visits and seeing every doctor and specialist that I'm told I'm supposed to see. So I've put myself as a priority now. And I just hope that everyone who's listening will do the same. Even if it's just take 10 minutes and turn your phone off every day. Just take a minute and breathe, or take a nap, take a walk, take a bath. It can be simple. It can be free, but really take some time for yourself. And I'm not great at meditating or yoga or any of that stuff, but you can have self-care that can be just you needing a minute. And I think we're just way too busy. We're way too overwhelmed. We've all got way too much on our plate. And I think the pandemic was supposed to teach us to slow down. And it did. And I think families were starting to have dinner together again, and traffic was phenomenal in Atlanta. It was so great. And I think once everything opened back up, we just kind of went right back to that rat race.
Yeah.
So, try to remember what that pandemic, I believe, was here to teach us, and just take the time, because life is short, and you really should spend the time with who you love, doing what you love. And, part of that, as my sales pitch is delegate, hire somebody to clean your house, hire somebody to help you get your closet organized or get your filing system done, ask for it as a Mother's Day gift or a Father's Day gift, or, get your family to babysit and go on a date night, just treat yourself right. Because I think it's really, really important.
Do you find that your clients sometimes don't get the connection between their disorganized home or business in some cases, right, and the other things that are going on in their life, right? That the rushing around, that they don't really get that connection, that maybe the disorganization in the home is a symptom of much bigger problems.
Wow. We're going to go into the psychiatry that is the clutter.
Right.
100%. So what a lot of people don't realize, because a lot of it's subconscious, is that physical clutter in your home is morphing into emotional clutter. And what that sounds like or looks like is, every time I open the garage door, I get this heavy feeling in my chest. Or I close the door to the office because I'm ashamed of anybody to see it, or I want to avoid a certain space, or I want to avoid a certain task. So it feels like stress. It feels like overwhelm. That's how it's usually described to me.
Yep.
And, or avoidance. And it is, you feel so much better when you tackle it and when you get a hold on it. And my favorite thing to do for families is to create a system in their home that makes their life easier and simpler, so they can enjoy their time with their family in their home. Right. So we put in what we call drop zones for a lot of people, and vertical filing systems that, gets a hold of all of that paper that's been piling up, because a lot of our clients, we were supposed to be paperless. We were supposed to have flying cars.
Yeah.
None of that has happened.
Right.
We have more paper than ever right now. Yep. So I really, I always start with the goal. What do you want this to feel like? What do you want this to look like? And then we go from there, and we try to make that happen. I met with somebody last week, and for her, it was the storage room in the basement. It's just really bothering her. Nobody ever sees it, but that's the one thing she's feeling overwhelmed by and stressed out by. And so I said, well, let's take that off your shoulders, take it off your plate. So we're going to spend 3 hours focusing on that room, and then she won't have that feeling anymore,
right.
And she won't avoid the basement. And, as a bonus, she'll be able to find what she needs when she needs it, which is my definition of being organized. It's not, I don't want to go in and get rid of everything you own. I don't want to throw all your stuff away. I want you to be able to find what you need when you need it. I want to save you from those crazy mornings where you're running around trying to find the missing sock, the permission slip, the receipt to return XYZ. I feel like mornings are usually our most stressful times. And
right.
so there's
particularly if you have kids.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And so the drop zone is where you put the backpack and the charging station and the family calendar, and everything goes there the night before. Your keys, your phone, your permission slips that are signed and in the backpack. So, there are so many systems that we can help implement. And I'm just here to say you don't have to do it all by yourself. There is help.
So when you, I love what you said there at the end about the systems you put in place, because what I think I'm hearing you say is those systems can create better habits.
100%. Yeah. Habit and routine. if you do a routine enough, becomes a habit, habits become routine. It's all the same thing. And that's once you do it for a month, there is no more paper piling up on the countertops and the kitchen table. There isn't that stress every morning of running around looking for stuff. And then if you teach the family where everything goes and where everything lives, then they're helping. And, just in case you don't know, moms out there, your kids want to help. They love to help.
Right.
Let them. Let them pack their lunch and snacks the night before. Let them put their shoes and socks by the door and their backpack by the door so it's ready to go the next day, or lay their clothes out the night before. So all of that is, it's funny how time management and organization, they just go hand in hand. I mean, they're one and the same. So I'm always talking about both when I'm talking about organization.
Heather Rogers is with us, folks, and she is the owner of Simply Organized, and she's also an author of A Simplified Life. Well, we need to shout out your book.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's on Amazon.
Yeah, okay. Easy to find, folks. We'll put a link to it in the show notes. But what you talk about some of these principles in your book, right?
I do. So the whole reason I wrote the book was so you didn't have to live in Metro Atlanta or hire me to get these very beneficial tips and tools. So the book is all written from my clients' perspective. I did make them anonymous, but most of them were kind of proud to be in the book. And so each story is what we did for them and how we helped them. And so it's everything from a senior trying to downsize to two people in their second marriage trying to combine two households into one. And they say that I saved their marriage. I think that's an extreme compliment, but I'll take it. But there's so many different major life changes that's usually when we enter a client's home or a business, getting married, getting divorced, moving, having a baby, retiring, downsizing, all of these major life changes are usually when you're willing to ask for the help that you need. And so that's what the book is about. It's just every single possible major life change you can think of and how we were able to help them, and hoping that anybody who reads it can get the help that they need with their own situation. So
what you're describing there, Heather, is a lot of intrinsic value in what you do. I mean, that goes well beyond, I guess, what people think of, right? I mean, peace of mind, whether it's peace of mind, saving a marriage, whatever it is, the return on this investment, let's call it, because it is an investment, has enormous returns that go well beyond just not having clutter around.
It's so true, and it's so hard to describe that. You just made that very eloquently, describing how our clients feel after we help them. I mean, we're asking for their trust immediately when we enter their very personal, private space. And I feel so blessed that we've earned that over the years with so many thousands of clients that we've been able to help. And, we get to watch them and help them, which has always been my passion, is to how can I help people? And I really feel like being a professional organizer allows you to really get in, and it does go a lot deeper than people think. It's not about a rainbow color coordinated closet, right? or really pretty labels on really pretty bins.
Right.
It's so much more than that. And you're right. People, they feel better.
Yeah.
When we leave, they feel better. We never leave somebody feeling worse, or we won't leave. We want to make sure they feel lighter, healthier, more balanced, happier. I always say, if you want to lose weight, just declutter, because you lose about 100 pounds in a day.
Yeah.
So you're right. It is a lot more than just the tidying and the decluttering.
Wow. What a great conversation. Heather Rogers, folks. Simply Organized is the name of her firm. Heather, I can't imagine there aren't some folks that want to engage with you or don't want to engage with you after hearing some of the things you've had to say and what you offer, which goes well beyond what it seems, right? So let's give them directions. How can they get in touch?
Okay, so website is Simply Organized You, which is spelled YOU.com. Or you can call 404-825-2105. And awesome. We're on all the social media platforms as Simply Organized You.
Got it. Heather Rogers, folks, Simply Organized. Heather, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, folks, just a quick reminder, if you are looking for a better alternative to going through the drive-through for your family, and they're really kind of tired of that, A&S Culinary Concepts, they are a gourmet corporate catering outfit. They do great work. They're actually an award-winning culinary studio. They're in Johns Creek, and they have Let Us Cook For You meals. They've got oven-ready meals that are fantastic. My wife and I have them all the time, and when we get done with them, the next thing she wants to know is, when are we going to do this again? So here's what I suggest you do. If you want to find out more, go to asculinaryconcepts.com and check them out. You'll see their menus right on the website there. Or if you'd like, give my friend Andrew Traub a call, 678-336-9196. Andrew is terrific, and his whole team is terrific. They do great work. They've got fantastic experience, and I think you'll enjoy them. And by the way, they've got corporate team building and big green egg boot camps. So if you like that kind of, that sounds attractive to you, ask about that. And folks, just a quick reminder, North Fulton Business Radio is on all the major podcast apps. We would love it if you are a fan of the show, or if you've heard someone on the show like Heather, whose services that you would that resonate with you and have said some things that resonate with you. Please share the show. It's not about us. It's not about Business RadioX. It's about our guests. We're here to celebrate them and the great work that they do. So when you share the show, it helps them. So please do that if you will, and we'd be grateful. So for my guest, Heather Rogers, I'm John Ray. Join us next time here on North Fulton Business Radio.